And let me
I
press the button. And
hello, everyone, and welcome. Today is Monday, June 6th. That's 6/6/2022. This is not James Lott Jr. I'm going to be hosting this special episode of the SOS show, the Super Organizer Show, 7-year anniversary. When James asked me to host it, I was a bit confused because my life is in shambles, but it's okay. Over the next hour or so, we'll be answering your questions of what it means to be a super organizer, but I'm not alone. I'm being joined by the man of the hour himself. Please welcome to JLJ Media, James Lott Jr.
All your life's in shambles. I should organize it for you.
Yeah, I know. Please, I can't afford you though. So
that's true. Hello, everybody. Hello, Flobo. Thanks for this. It's my 7-year anniversary. I can't believe it. This is my longest running show I've ever done. Almost 400 episodes. I tried to time it. Didn't work out that way.
Yeah.
I took some time off. If I probably didn't even take no time off, probably be 400 episodes, but I got time.
400 doing the same thing. That is just ridiculous. Like, what made you go like, you know what? After 250, there's still a story to tell. You didn't stop it. What made you go, I'm gonna keep pushing on, finding the truth?
Well, that's actually a good question because I almost did stop. So, okay. When I first started 7 years ago, it was a whole different name of the show. It was called the Super Organizer. Oh my God. Super Organizer Radio Show because I was on radio.
Okay.
So after a year, I hated that title and I wanted to retool the show a little bit. So I took a little slight hiatus. It was like a couple months to retool it. And I almost didn't come back. I was like, should I come back? Should I do that? But I loved it so much doing it. I was doing it. We'll talk about that later, of course. So I was doing that radio station. I loved it. So I retooled the name to the Super Organizer Show or the SOS Show or James Lott Jr.
Yeah.
And then I was there. I left there 2 years later. And I decide, do I do it myself? What do I do? And by then I was at maybe 100 episodes, 100 and some episodes by then. Yeah, by then I was like 150 episodes. And then Cameron Lewis put me on his network, and it would be a Good People Project. His network did another like 30 or 40 shows on there. And then again, came to the point of like, okay, I'm over 200 shows, I'm at 250 shows at this point. And I was like, should I even continue? Should I stop? Should I do it myself? And I said, James Lott Jr., you're going to bring it to JLJ Media. This is before JLJ Media was a thing. I said, I'm going to do it. And I was at After TV by then, doing all their shows. So this is my own little thing. Yeah. And I kept going. So yeah, so I almost stopped a couple of times.
What's been the staying power? I mean, you got so many people trying the hot shot an alternative organizing show, and they flame out, bam, bam, bam. They get stopped in traffic of downloads and algorithms, but somehow you find a way to maintain. I mean, what's the secret sauce?
That's a good question. I think it's me.
Yes, it is.
No, I mean, I'm thank you, Latasha. I am the product. I am the draw. I know that in my organizing practice. I learned that 5 years into organizing that it's me. I'm the product. So it goes with this too. I noticed that people were like, it's my biggest show ever I've ever done. People love it. I'm a man. I'm the only male who has one.
Breaking news, y'all.
I'm a man. Just get to know that. I'm a man sometimes. But no, there's no other men doing it.
Right.
And when I start looking at in year 5, I was like, let me look around. And you're right, a lot of people who are doing it started to just die off. It's a lot of work to do it consistently every week for years. But see, I enjoy doing it because there's much to say. Or the organizing world was changing as I was on the air. Right. And so things kept coming up and different types of organizing kept coming up. Different types of organizers kept coming up that I have material. And then I was learning stuff as I go along. Yeah. That I have material. I can do this show forever. Actually, it's just more. It's always material. So I think that's part of it. Part of it is I'm the draw, but also all my guests and people. There's an infinite number of organizers out there doing stuff.
You know, when I first met you, I always tell the story at the AfterBuzz. Sorry, at late AfterBuzz, having you come out with your own logo with the rippling abs and the crossing arms and being all super. I was like, it was a brand before that. I understood what the whole branding concept was, and I hear people who do it, and I heard, oh, you're an organizer. Well, that's cool, fine. Next subject. But what about it got you saying, no, this is something I could do in my path. This is something I can see myself have my own brand, see myself being a visionary, see myself be a thought leader?
Well, I mean, it's funny because there was no path. There was no path laid before me. This is a new industry. It's a very new, young industry. This industry started with a few women in a kitchen back in the mid '80s. So when I got to 2009, which was almost 13 years ago, or was 13 years ago, I was just like, there was no precedence because we were all still learning this. We were still growing in this business. There wasn't any laid before me. It's like we're all carving a path at the same time because which is a weird thing because I even think AfterBuzz TV was similar to that too. We were carving something that no one else was doing.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like there's not like when I went to nursing, there are people before me who did nursing. I just follow whatever they do, or in agriculture and insurance. I mean, I'm following someone else's lead and what they laid out. This actually it's very uncharted territory. What I'm still doing is uncharted territory. We're still trying to figure this out, and I think that's what's kind of I don't know. I don't think I just realized I had a blog at the time too that was very popular. I realized 5 years into the blog, like 7 years into the business, 3 years into this organizing show, that I stood out.
Mm-hmm.
I stood out from the rest. I was black, male, a black male, a gay black male, this male, that male, this male. I just stood out. I had a deep voice. I was not stiff. That I didn't talk to just the ladies. You know, a lot of women just have a habit of talking to the ladies. Ladies, you hear me? I'm talking to everybody. And also, by this point, I'm also in media. So that's something extra that I was bringing into this. I would bring my friends who are actors about organizing. I was doing all this stuff. So it was kind of like, I could tell I was very unique compared to a lot of people who are doing this.
And unique you are. 7 years doing the SOS show, almost 400 episodes, which is just ridiculous because I'm on what's a Flobo, 220? I'm like, ugh.
You are. No, you are. I know you
How
are.
can I do this?
You might get there for you're gonna wake up one day and go, how many episodes have I done? It's really weird how that happens.
Yeah.
This 7 years went by fast to me. Fast.
So you don't see slowing down. This is it for the foreseeable future as far as like making
this show is completely I love it because I can do shows solo, I can do shows with guests, I can do shows about facts, laws, anything that's going on. I mean, anything that's to do with organizing, productivity, time management, even a little bit of life coaching. I do a little bit on here too. But I can go on forever because then you have shows like The Homedic comes out or Marie Kondo comes out, so they want me to comment on that. And I mean, I can always
wait. Hold on, you rolled your eyes. What? Why did you?
Everybody knows. Anybody in business knows I'm not a Marie Kondo fan, so that's a whole other story. That whole
Netflix show. Most people know nothing about organizing, but they know Marie Kondo. She was a brand, a star.
She is a brand, and I was quoted in Forbes magazine twice about her, so people know how I am about that. I think I've had people on the show who are part of the KonMari method.
Okay.
For me, I feel like that's the problem. We get this big thing that comes out. Everyone who's not an organizer hears about it. They think that's the way. So for everyone like you who liked it, there are millions who feel like, I can't do that the way they do it. Is that the only way to organize? Or and I have to tell people, and obviously in the business, we're like, she's one way.
Right.
If it works for you, great. But there are a lot of people where organizing is a one size fits all thing, and we feel like we don't want that to be our only representation. That's why.
I got you. Almost like Bob Marley's reggae music. Like he's dope, but he's over there. Like there's other. Okay, I got you.
Exactly. Or just Santa Cruz is just salsa. Like there's other people besides them. Now she's a great representation, of course.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's Tio Puente and some people. I mean, there's other people out there who are doing Hector Lavoy, all kinds of people who are doing stuff that were doing salsa merengue and also back in the day. So I mean, I think you have one person out there that's fine, but since our industry isn't so well known, they always think hoarders or Marie Kondo now.
Right.
Same thing about it. And the industry is so much more vast than that.
Right. Yeah, I totally get that. I mean, like when I was a kid and talking about the Caribbean, there was only Cuba or Jamaica, right? The only two choices.
Yes.
But shout out to Hector Lavoe. Every Puerto Rican party loves La America. We're telling these questions. You guys can pile in and make sure you can interact with the man himself, GLJ Media. Texas Rangers fan says, "Let's go Mets." No, she actually says, "Has anyone ever been offended by something you tried to get them to organize?"
Hi, Connie. Oh, hi, Connie. I don't know you. Anybody been offended by something I try to get them to organize?
Yeah.
No, never been offended.
Really?
No, I wasn't offended. It's
As
no,
someone,
not offensive. Just that either they were not ready, or they said I don't want to do it, or we're not working on that right now. I've never had anybody offended.
what about you walk into my closet, you go get rid of these wire hangers? Like, oh no, they're free. I got from the cleaners. No one's ever got to an argument.
Oh, my clients know I know wire hangers ever. I am totally Joan Crawford about that.
Why? They're biodegradable.
So they're horrible. So here's the thing. They're horrible on your clothes. They're horrible. They put dents in your clothes. So what I do is I tell them, because other people do almost exactly what you did, Flobo, for real. I go, I'm going to give you free hangers that are beautiful. I want them to give them to you. Just to get them started. I give them just enough. Get them hooked.
Okay.
Then they want more, we charge for more. But I'll give you basic. For every, as I usually I'll say, for every hanger, so I see that's from the cleaners. We turn them back to the cleaners, bitches. We don't do wire hanger. We do plastic sometimes, depends on what they are. You know, my clients, I hate boxes and wire hangers. Those are two things I hate more in life itself.
To be fair, like I'm with you. I have like what now they call the official generic term is velvet covered hangers or the Joey Mangano hangers. But I get
the official term, Flobo, is because language changes. It's the huggable hanger.
No, that's a trademark.
Don't matter. They're all huggable hangers.
Well, yes, that's the trademark that Joe Mangano owns. It's a huggable hanger. But I'm okay, whatever. Point being is that I'm just really lazy. I get my clarifying back. It's on the wire hangers. I'm like,
it's horrible. It ruins your clothes. It ruins your clothes.
Well, Connie asked, what about minimalism? Which in the mid 2000s, that was a really big movement. You didn't care if you talk about your phone apps or your apartment. Less is more, or is less is less?
Yeah, no, I tell people if that's for you, great. I can't live with 5 items, so that's just I just don't do that. I think, you know, here's for me. I'm not super sentimental, but I am a little bit. I don't have a lot of. I lost a lot of things in a fire, so I know what it's like to lose. I know stuff is stuff. I lost a lot of stuff in a fire from my childhood that I will never get back. And
An
so
actual fire.
What actual fire? Yeah, it was an actual fire.
Gotcha.
I was an actual fire in 2006.
Okay.
I woke up to my house on fire. So in San Francisco. Yeah, it was crazy. So I lost almost everything in there. And I lost things in a flood once also too. So wow. I've had both. It's crazy. Actually in this room, I had a flood in this room. This whole back half of my house is new. This half got flooded out. We had underneath it was leaking underneath, and a pipe burst. And I was in New York City burying my great grandmother, and I got a phone call the night before saying, "Your whole back half of the room is 5 inches underwater."
That is just like the biggest fear ever. When you, even though how you're organized or good in place, you're away from your house and something happens, whether it is a fire, a water main break, a burglary, something like that, and it's crazy.
Yeah. So I learned stuff is stuff. I like having my Grogu. I like having my. To me, it's like if it doesn't hinder your life, which it doesn't hinder my life, having them. Yeah. I have plenty of space. I have big. I like space. I love space. But I like some things on my walls. I like things. I like my African American art. I like to showcase stuff. I like it. So for me, I know friends who are minimalists. And for them, good for you. I don't have anything for or against it. I just think that if you can live that way, good. But most of us like to have mementos and things. And I think as long as you don't go the other direction.
Yeah. There's an actress, her name is Hannah Simone, who played Cece on New Girl.
Yes,
I used to work with her brother at Fox back in the day, and he had this, which is very, very nice parents. Their parents are like British AF, man. But they had this rule. He had this rule that he only owned 50 items, and if you bought a pair of socks, something had to leave. And I was like, what?
Yeah, no, my friends were on that show Stripped on Bravo.
Yeah.
One of the girls, my girl, Allie Levine was one of them. DJ. Oh my God, I get his name right now. He was on it too. But there, I do too, where they actually count every single item in your house. You get a count, and they take, and then you can only get one thing at a time every day.
Yeah.
It was a trip watching her go through it. I knew what she went through. I mean, sorry, folks. I didn't know beforehand. We talked about the whole thing. I kept quiet. And I saw her on the show because we're very close. But it was very interesting exercise of just like, what do we have we don't need? And trust me, I purge all the time. I'm always purging stuff.
Oh, yeah, I am too. Yeah, that's my dad's. Like, I feel like because I'm a bachelor, ladies, it is a stereotype that bachelors don't have anything, and it's true. I like my walls white because I can think of like ideas on them where I get to project on them and stuff like that. But I do have acquired things over time, and I feel like, is it okay to have a bit of a balance? You're saying that is, as long as it's okay, it's out the way, it's clean, it's good to have, which is very comforting for someone like myself, because I always feel like the big fear is you find a girl or a Pacific other, and you go, that whole life is over. Now we're getting live, laugh, love signs. You're like, oh, you know.
Yeah, you don't do that. The thing is, I fans know this of me. I believe you can have a junk drawer. I say you're allowed to have one junk drawer, not 10. You're allowed to have one.
What's in yours?
What?
What's in your junk drawer?
Well, I've done it. Actually, you can watch or listen to my episodes here of That's Why Show James Lott Jr. We did it a couple months ago. So
yeah,
actually,
I was there laughing at that. I thought you could go back.
I was juggling. He commented when I was juggling and organizing at the same time live on air. So you can check those out. So my junk drawer's over here in my bedroom. I have one junk drawer.
So I've known you, what, 4 years now? 3 years?
Oh, wow. Yes. But
yes. 4 years. And I can tell you, there's always something new I learn every single time. And when you're like, oh, I juggle, I'm like, no, like what? Like time and responsibilities? He goes, no, Trick, actually juggle. I was like,
I'm part of the Juggling Association.
Yeah, Juggling Association. I mean, you lived 25 lifetimes. It's pretty crazy.
I have. But that's funny when you commented that you're like, oh man, it's juggling and organization. I said, yes, I can juggle, folks. I know how to do stuff.
Yeah.
I'm a cartographer and all this stuff. I'm all kind of stuff, all kind of stuff.
Yeah, I love it, man. So with 2022, I mean, we're kind of in this pandemic, shifting to endemic type deal. Is there any kind of like tips you've learned during this time of the pandemic? You say, oh, this is definitely going to be added to my repertoire. Like things you learned in the last 2 years, you applied to your craft?
I think the one thing for sure that I was like, being a life coach and learning Zoom and learning online has been valuable to me. Luckily, I am a speaker. I know how to convey information easily, that's easily digestible. That has become a big thing for me for the last 2 years, because for all of us organizers out there, we couldn't organize for a while. It was literally couldn't go to people's homes or to businesses shut down. And so there was nowhere to go to organize. So I had to really figure out what am I gonna do and make some money.
Right.
And I was like, okay, so I've learned, which I'm taking with me now further, which led to the other thing. I don't want to organize so much anymore. Physical organization, I'm coming out of that. I'm going to slowly transition out of that. I have a couple of people I've dropped already. A couple I'm keeping that are reoccurring clients who pay good money. They can help me. I live in LA. I got the money. But I realized also when I didn't organize for like a year, and then I didn't organize again for 4 months due to COVID early this year. I was like, you know what? I think I'm done with all that. I'm tired of having to be dependent on the outside world.
Yeah.
There's a big contingency of people who do virtual organizing, but for the clientele that I have, because they were mostly older, they couldn't physically do it. They need somebody physically in there.
Yeah.
A lot of people who have that kind of organizing thing, they have younger clientele, they're entrepreneurs, they can tell them to do. Mine, when I couldn't sit on a computer and say, okay, girl, lift that, that ladder and lift it. No, I couldn't do that. It would have to be somebody physical. So my business isn't flexible that way in terms of that. So, but it's flexible in the ways of I would teach classes. So I really learned that my business is changing right now. It's completely changing right now in a way that I'm actually very happy about.
What's the mix of the people that just want outside help, as in like, I don't want to do this, versus those that can do it or cannot do it physically? Is it most people, your clients, people who can't do it physically, or just, hey, I got 25 things going on, make me look pretty, I'll be right back?
Because of the organizing that I do, I'm with people who have change of life, meaning divorce, widowhood, death, adult children leaving the home, illness, whatever. I'm dealing with people usually 50 years or older.
Yeah.
So the older they are, up to their 80s. So a lot of the women and men I work with in their 70s and 80s, they literally need me either with them, they organize with me, or I do the organizing for them. They tell me what they want, and I achieve it for them, and they're there. I have very few clients who say, "James, get in, go." I have a couple who are younger who like do that. I was at my client. I was there. I was just had one on Friday, where she was like, "James, you know what to do. Just tell you, just give me your hours, and we're good." And I did everything I just said, "Is there anything specific you need?" She told me what she specifically needed. What was it specifically needed, and I was able to catch. I know the ghetto comes out, and then I knew what she wanted specifically. Plus, I knew what she likes. These are longtime clients, so I knew what she likes. So I took care of it for her. She came home. She was happy. She Venmoed me or whatever, Zelled me, whatever, and that was it. And we were good to go. So, but most of my clients, that's the thing. I was catering to the older African American, Latin American crowd, and they needed me there. And so that's what kind of happened there.
7th year of the super organizer, and apparently 100 more down the line. We got a question from Connie. He's like, ever had a hoarder want to declutter?
I worked with the hoarders in the very beginning. I stopped.
Oh wow!
It's a whole psychological thing that I don't want to take on. It's being a hoarder, or having hoarding disorder, changing language, having hoarding disorder. There are folks. There's a place I want to talk about. Just I want to bring up to people out there. They're called ICD, the Institute for Chronic Disorganization. They are a wonderful organization. Sue Weston over there and Allison, they're all wonderful. Lusher, they're all great over there. And they actually specialize in techniques on how people hoard, because hoarding is much deeper than just I have a lot of stuff. It's much more than just I would say there's a pack rat, which you just have stuff you keep, and then there's also hoarders where it's dirty. There's just like, and I've told some stories on the show over the years. For me, that was too much work, too much mental work. I say if you work with a hoarder, get a psychiatrist, psychologist, somebody work also with you. My mother is on that side of things, but she's my mother, so I've been helping her out for the last 12 years. We still have a long way to go. I come from a family of that, and so I'm like, that's family. It's different. It's my mother. I do it here and there. As a profession, I was like,
do you bill her? Do you charge your mom or no?
Well, we in certain ways, yes, we do. She'll buy me lunch or dinner, or there's times she's giving me money for things. I mean, we work it out. We just work it out. It's just times I do it for free, just because I feel like I should.
Yeah.
It depends. So she knows my worth. She knows everything. We work it out.
I like her mom.
We love Benita.
Yeah, she likes my content on Patreon, so that's a big fan of it.
She likes you. But here's the thing. So what was I saying? So I like to eat. And so my mom knows the foods I like. So there's things in her area that I don't get in my area that she can order for me, and that will make up for a couple hours of work.
Yeah. Like give me something. Give me a sample.
Pollo Inca. I love Pollo Inca. Give me my avocado with my Inca Cola, my fried plantains. I love it. Yes.
Texas Rangers fan says, has an OCD person asked you to help them be not so organized? Not so fresh?
This is a good question. This is a great question, Texas Rangers fans. A great question. Okay. OCD is an organization don't go hand in hand, actually.
Go on.
It's a misnomer. It's a misconception that people who are OCD are organized. Usually they're not. OCD is an actual obsessive compulsive disorder that hinders you in your life, to the point where you do repetitive things, or have to have things a certain way repetitively every day, all the time. That the counter has to be a certain way. You have nothing on there, but that mug has to sit this way, facing this way. I'll go crazy. Oh, it's completely OCD is a very different thing than actually an organized person. And so I've worked with a couple of people who have OCD tendencies, who are trying to get organized, not the other way around. I've never seen anybody who was like, I'm just so organized. I just can't. No, I've never had that ever. It's very much OCD it's like the same thing like neat and tidy in organization. You can be neat and tidy and not organized. Everything is hidden. You open a closet, it's like a cartoon. Kind of stuff is falling out and everything like that. So yeah. See, Flobo knows. Open that closet there, Flobo.
No, I don't want to. I don't want to. I wish I could. But it's closed.
But you know what I mean? That's what it is. That's what I'm saying. It's like, your house is nice and tidy, but it's not organized. Nobody's organized. So I think it's one of those. It's the same thing like cleaning an organization. There are folks who can clean but can't organize. There are folks who can organize and can't clean. So I think there's certain things we need to start pulling apart. So I think it's a great question. We need to pull it apart. OCD is something that's completely a mental condition that affects people in a way that really hinders their lives. If you're super organized, that's not hindering your life.
Sure.
It just means being organized means you have systems in place to make you happy.
I'm with you, because I know one person when I was a resident advisor in college, when you had people with conditions or disorders, to let you know in that briefing, and I had a resident that was OCD, and because when he left a doorway, he had to like knock a certain way many different times. But I always wonder how did that become like the catch-all, like unfair term to say you're a neat freak, right? Can I say freak?
Right.
Is that considered disrespectful in your culture? But I neat freak.
Yes.
Yeah. But I don't understand what made that transition between when people go, I'm OCD, to I like things in a certain way.
Yeah, it's completely it makes no sense. And I think my boyfriend Matt Litchfield's in here. I love you, Matt.
Hey, what's up, boyfriend Matt? What's going on?
He's across the country, he has a man, but
I got it. I understood.
I love him to death. No, it's there's a lot of things that people put in the world of neatness and organization. You don't even have to be neat and tidy to be organized either. It's just that there's systems put in place to make your life run smoother. You know where the spoon is. You know where, I'm talking of things you know where the scissors are. You know where, there's like, where the water is. Like, you have places for them.
Yeah.
That's what that means. You can still have shit on the floor and whatever, just late you got for work late, but you'll clean up later. But you have places for everything though. So even when you pick it up, you have a place for it. The shoes have a place. That's what organization really is. But you can still not wipe a counter, dust a window, and still be organized. I mean, I think that's another thing too. We need to think about.
That's totally me. I think there's a place for everything in my apartment, but like there's corners in my house I haven't dusted since like ever. It's like
I have one over here. I have one right over here. It's about dust bunnies, dust Easter hares over here. So.
Right. My mother would say, I had so much dust you could plant yum. I'm sorry, Mom and Dad. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. I have this one little corner. I just can't get to it. I mean, I could get it. It's so inconvenient. This corner's inconvenient.
Yeah.
But I know that there's so much dust. It's affecting me sitting here sometimes. I start coughing.
Yeah.
I know it is. I'm like, I'm gonna have to get in there.
Yeah.
Do
you believe or don't you believe in Inbox Zero? And is that organization or is that something else?
I did a show on that too, folks. I did a show on that too. Recently, I believe in that completely. Right now, my inbox is at 6. I'm looking right now. I'm about to let go of 1 right there. Now my inbox is at 5. And the only reason why it's at 5 is that there's 2 emails I just don't feel like dealing with at the moment. I'm gonna get some later. But usually I get some right away. I tell people all the time, like I said, the shorthand is that Jamaican flag, girl. She's a Jamaican flag.
I think it's Jamaican. I think, right?
I can't see.
JM is Jamaica, I think. Yeah, it doesn't show up on YouTube. I'm assuming it's JM.
It's like Jamaica. I'm Puerto Rican or West Indian. Same Eustatius. Anyway, it is. It's what was I talking about?
He's talking about Inbox Zero. I have 2 emails.
Oh yeah.
I don't want to answer.
Okay, so I get to flags all of a sudden. Okay, so I said flags, folks. That's what I said. No. Anyway, but no. Here we go. This is my show, folks. It's crazy. Yes, you have 3. I have 3 emails too. As I'm saying, out of my 3 emails I have, I'm down to 5 total. 2 on one and 3 on the other.
And when you say like in your inbox or unopened, like what is that?
Unopened in my inbox. So in my inbox and unopened.
So even emails that are open are not are counted. So they're not even there. You just have 3 emails in your inbox completely.
Yep. I tell people you have to do the work. You have to do one night or a weekend, get a glass of wine or whatever, get a drink, and just sit down and go through them all, and really deal with it. Now, mind you, I have a couple of flagged emails, different colors of things I'm holding on to till it's done. And I just think, folks, you need to do it. I'm telling you, one of my co-hosts revealed he had over what was it, 135,000 emails.
I think I know the guy.
You know who he is. And he tells that story, and me and my other coach were like, what in the F? Because his emails started bumping back to us because he was like, yeah, I got to go through them. And like, it's just crap. Like, just delete. Goes at this point, just delete them. At this point, if you didn't answer them, I mean, whatever was important. Oops.
Yeah. What if I'm like stuck in a well and I go, only this guy can save me now. I am done. My last email go on deaf air. They get bounced back.
Done following. No, seriously, Flo, he would not be able to help you. But here's the thing. For me, it's less anxiety. When I look down, because I have all these little boxes with little numbers on. We all have them now, right? And I look at them, I go, okay, I have 5. Okay, or I have 15, or I have 20. I stay in the morning, I get my coffee, and I just start doing them. Just start handling them, and then they're good. I'm good to go. I just think it's a less. I'm trying to do anything I can for people to lessen their anxiety. But a lot of emails are just junk. A lot of emails we're email hoarding these days. We're holding on to things. If there's pictures in the email, save the picture. Put it in a folder and save it. If you want to save a PDF, save something as a PDF. I put it in like organizing, put them where they need to go.
Yeah.
Not in the email. Because it's also happening with texting too. My mother's phone died because she was text hoarding.
Wow.
She had over 11,000 texts. And she was saying, because I have pictures in them and things in them. And she's like, save the goddamn pictures. Don't just sit there and hold on to them. So we hold on to things because it's easy.
Wait. The phone died because there was too many text messages on it?
That
breaks my heart like an overworked mule or something.
Yeah, exactly. It was. Exactly.
Ow.
Exactly. And my other friend, phone started dying too because he had too many texts.
Rest in peace, phone. Is there an app that broke through a lot for you that you like to say, oh man, you got to get this to be organized, whether it's a to-do list type of thing or any kind of organization app?
In the old days, there was Evernote.
Oh yeah.
I love Evernote. Me too. You can do pictures, you can do notes. It was an app that I used on my consultations. So I had to get a picture of the room and then type what was going on. Our friend Melissa Phillip, which I do the coffee conversation with James and Melissa every Monday here on JLJ Media, she's in love with, oh my God, not Everclear. She has this one that she's so in love with.
Yeah.
And she loves it. And I've got the name of it right now. I'm bringing out the name of it. I just tip of my tongue. It has a name. It's like embottled or so. I don't know what it's called. Enchanted or something like that. I know what it is, but it's something she loves it so much. You can write on it. She has her stylus. You can write on it. Whatever it is, she loves it.
Yeah.
But for me, no. To me, you don't need a fancy app. To me, other than I use good old fashioned day planners. I use planners. I use calendars. I'm old school to the end. And for me, and everybody knows I do 10,000 things. That's how I keep it in order. And I literally have, again, so I check it against my Zoom every week, see if it matches the Zoom. Like everything old school. I have files that are. Here's something too, folks.
Ooh,
a tip.
Tell them.
Yeah, Neat was good too for a while. Neat was another one. We scan all the receipts. I had a couple of clients who liked Neat also.
Yeah.
But no. So here's the thing. When you do your files, make sure they're titled exactly how you would look for them. Smart. Don't title them the way you think people. It's auto and health. Like I never look for auto and health when I look for files. I look for a car or the name of the car. Or I would say Kaiser. Like really break it down to where, like, look at my files right now. I have favorite videos, digital creator success, search for Walter, shows being written, trailer music. Like it's all down to what exactly it is. So I just go right to it. Literary in progress, tax stuff, the email season 2. Like it's all Boyce and Lott album. It's all right there. Everything on my other thing is it's all certificates. Like everything is right there. Invoices, like it's you make it as simple as possible. So you don't need anything fancy, anything crazy. You just get a piece of paper and do it, and that literally is what's going to save you. Just make sure it's something where you can again set up a system where you will remember it.
That's actually pretty nice advice for life. One of the things about being a superhero or a super organizer is that the succession plan. Superman can't save Metropolis forever. Where can someone find the young boys and girls that are doing the thing in your industry?
the question right now. I guess there are some new folks coming in. I guess I personally think, and I've been fighting with many, because I am now kind of one of the leaders in our industry. By default, kind of happened that way.
Default, yes.
Default. That I always say, people don't know this in the industry. There are some schools and some colleges and universities that are offering time management programs.
Mm-hmm.
And one actually offers an organizing type program, productivity program. So there are a few of those who have that at the actual college and university level. That's where you have to hit them, because we have our trade schools and stuff, but that's something totally different. That's like, you have to know about them. This is like, if you're going to college, you're like, I want to be like an organizer or a productivity specialist, then if you see it on the program. And so I did a couple of classes with West LA College years ago, and I had students. They were just like, "That's really interesting to get organized." It was a couple of one-offs, so a couple of weeks. I want to get in that more. I want to totally get into that. I want to get into that. I want us to get into schools, get into universities, community colleges. We need to get the word out there that we are a vast and wonderful money-making industry.
Mm-hmm.
As my friend Regina always says, from womb to tomb, people need us. I love that phrase. They need us because we can teach you how to teach your kids how to do chores, and that are different age levels, all the way to helping school students organize their time for studying and all that kind of stuff, to helping college students, we literally can help everybody from every length of life. But people just don't know there's a business. I know it was a business. 13 years ago, I know it was a business. I like, my Aunt Faith was like, "This is a business." I'm like, "It is." So I can tell you what it is, but it's something. Then I got the book by Julie Morgenstern, Organizing from the Inside Out. I meant to pull it out to show everybody, like I did once before. That book changed my life, and I knew that I was going to be organized. That book's a definitive book in our business. I knew that was a business, and I heard of NAPO, the National Association of Productivity and Organizers, and I was like, "Oh, this is a business." And that's when it hit me in my 40s. I mean, I had no idea. So that's the thing, is how can we get younger people? I've had a few younger people intern with me over the years. They ended up not doing it, but they came in and did a little bit with me, whatever. But I don't know. Retention, growth, regeneration. I think that's something that I think it's marketing. I think it's completely not just the home edit, which that can help though. Recondo, that can help though. We need more than that.
Yeah, social media presence or anything like that.
All that also, but also cultures. There are some cultures who don't hire housekeepers either, but they'll hire a gardener, an electrician, and a plumber to do work. But they feel like anything inside the house, they should be doing it.
Yeah.
But you're not doing it, so it just sits there. So it's the cultures. There's a lot of cultural stuff, and that's why I say I work with a lot of Black and Latino women and men who understand the culture behind, like going to somebody's house and some stuff. It's doing culture about that.
Is that first meeting usually awkward when they have to admit that they need help? Or is it kind of like, no, oh, thank God you're here. Do the dang thing.
It's everything. It's a bit of everything. There are people who are nervous, and I do my best to make them feel comfortable. I have that magic. I feel that I make them feel comfortable right away. I'm like, no big deal. I've seen worse. Oh my goodness. A little sprinkle here, sprinkle there. Do this. I'm good at that. I'm good. This is my nurse's training. I think that comes in handy. I have a good bedside manner. Oh, thank you, Shereen. I have a good mentor. I see his thing. I tell the truth, shame the devil. I don't sugarcoat nothing, but I'm not judgmental. Like I literally will talk to you like this is how it is. Like you've gotten to this point. It happened for a reason, but at least now you recognize that you will just think about it. So let's focus on that. That's what I kind of feel like that. So I just tell them point blank, it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be some work, but you can do it. And people tell me my enthusiasm about it makes them feel like they can do it. I'm like, yeah, if I can do it, you can do it. We can all do it. It's fine. I just make it fun, play music, whatever. But we're gonna do it. And I just tell you, you're gonna do it. You're gonna do it. You'll be fine. You're gonna love it afterwards, and they get excited about that. You're gonna love it. They get excited about that. And so I think it's back to me talking to people, because they see some of them are nervous, some of them are embarrassed, everything.
That's always my thing. Like I don't necessarily need an organizer. I definitely need sometimes a cleaner. But I always feel like when they come over, it's like I'm one dude in a one-bedroom apartment. asking for help. I should be ashamed of myself. And I don't usually do it. Question from Texas Rangers fan. They ask, have you decluttered people's cars and or trucks?
Yes, I have a whole program on that too, and I've talked about that over the years. Yes, especially in Los Angeles, we live in our cars. And so yes, no, we just do. I mean, when I had a car, we all just do. You have an extra pair of clothes, and for James Lott Jr. was like I had water and food and everything. You have all this stuff in there. Organizing products, this kind of place. I was an actor, so I had extra shoes and combs and everything. I had everything in the car. So, and we eat in the car, you just throw something on the ground, whatever. It is cars, especially in big cities, are a big deal. Even in rural areas where you travel far places, they're a big deal. And so there are trunk organizers. There are things you can use in your car to organize things. There is a way of placement where things should go that's easy for you to grab and handle. There's some things in cars you have to have, like you should have like flares and jumper cables. There's things you should have in cars. But there's a way to do it. So yes, I've done cars. I think I've done a couple of trucks, but I've done cars.
All right. Well, what tip would you give me? You've taken a ride in the SUV in my car, Drake.
But your car is actually nice and clean. I've never seen anything in it. I've never seen anything in it.
It's because I use it for work. That's why I can't put anything in the floor. I have to put all the seats all the time. But
that makes sense. Your car is always nice. There's never been a problem.
Oh, I was such a pick outfits. I appreciate you. What's like the hardest thing to clean? Is it garages? Is it apartments? Is it houses? Is it the car thing?
Yes. No, it's everything. And no, there is no hardest.
Yeah.
It really is. I mean, you would think it, because sometimes garages are the easiest thing to clean because you have lots of space. So you pull everything out and then literally it's just open space. You just go, okay, I need enough room for a car. Okay, got it. We'll flare everything on this side. They're sometimes much easier. Houses are tricky. Houses and apartments are all shaped differently. There's rooms that have the weirdest corners, or like they slope. It's the big slope, so you can't put stuff there because the ceiling's too low. And then it also, some walk-in closets are huge, some are small, some are narrow, some are wide. Some houses have one closet, whole house. So the older homes don't have like closets. Others have closets. And you're like, well, we have a 2-bedroom house and one closet. What are you gonna do? So I think kitchens. I love kitchens. I love kitchens and bathrooms. But again, they're all different shapes and sizes, and some have extra cabinets, some don't. Refrigerators are small, some are big. To me, there's no hardest. I've had hard everywhere, easy everywhere. I've had each one.
All right, so you basically put the confidence inside. I'm gonna call an organizer. I'm gonna call the cleaner, and I'm gonna make it happen. What should I look forward into? What should I look towards? I'm trying to book an organizer that matches what I need. Like what kind of personality thing? Any kind of references I should ask for? Any kind of credentials I should ask for?
That's a great idea. Great question. Not everybody gets certified. But I would want to see if you're not certified, I want to know how long you've been doing this. Do you have a website? Do you have pictures? I do want to see stuff. You should always, it's like choosing anything. Go with your guts, see how you feel. If you're feeling a little off or weird with this person, they're talking, you're not really connecting, it's totally okay. We really pick the right one. Don't pick the first one if it's not there. I think when you meet them, your stuff, if they're right or not. I just will just listen to them. See if they're listening to you. See if they're listening to you. You want someone who listens to what you're saying. You want someone who's watching your body language. You want someone who's picking up on cues and can say to you, I saw when we went to the kitchen, you got a little more stiffer when we went to the kitchen. There's something going on in the kitchen. Like you want somebody who's observant. That's you wanting, and you go, oh yeah, you caught that? Oh my god, yeah. I'm just very much. I love my kitchen. I'm in here all the time. I'll just deal with it. Okay, and then you want someone to ask you questions, like ask you really good questions, like like, are you left-handed? Are you right? Well, you and I both are left-handed. If you're left-handed, right-handed, do you cook this way? Do you do this? That? Do you should the cups be closest to the refrigerator? Because that would you just grab water, or can it be farther? Like, really ask questions. They should be asking you questions.
Yeah.
And really figuring out what it is you want. If they don't know what you want, they're just coming in. If someone tells you we should do it this way and that's it, to me, get them out.
Wow.
I don't like any organizer that tells me what I should do. I think organizers should be listening to you, and then catering to your needs with some of their techniques and tricks. Say, okay, I have an idea for that pantry. They tell you, not that we're going to do the pantry this way, you're going to love it. It's I do it with all my clients. Nope. My clients are as different as I am every single day. And so I don't know one size fits all. So you want that for sure. You want somebody who's respectful, nice, that won't tell your business, that kind of thing. There's certain people that go to gossip all about your house. But I think usually you will know the right organizers for you. You really will know.
Yeah. Sometimes it's not to say you can't fire an organizer or something like that. When people come to your house, it's kind of hard to say no. I still remember a time my dad doesn't get super mad at my mom too often growing up. One of the most times he hit roof is when the guy who sold a door-to-door vacuum cleaner from Kirby walked inside the house and sold my mom a vacuum cleaner. Her thing was, well, he was already inside. What could I possibly do? And so being able to be like, hey man, thanks to you for your time, but get the hell out of my house is a lot for people to overcome when they're so kind of vulnerable. So that's a good thing to know. Good tip there.
I tell you all the time, it's your money. It's your money. So if you want to spend money on an organizer who does not work for you, and it can happen, you're gonna feel worse than I wasted my money on this person. Because trust me, I've been hired after bad organizers.
Yeah, I believe that.
Many times. James, they did something I don't know where any of my stuff is. Because they put it the way they think this should be put. And so for some people, that works. But for a lot of people, it doesn't. Again, it goes back to my thing. It's like, if you use spoons every day, we gotta make sure, where would you go and get a spoon? And if no one's noticed, and put it there.
This one here is from the cleaning side of things. Shuri asks, my sister and I talked a couple times about getting a maid for like 1 or 2 times help. Is that unreasonable?
No. You're employing somebody, number one. That's number one. Number two, like my back hurts. I'm going to hire somebody to come do my bathroom and my kitchen. I can't do that. I can't do my tiles anymore. I want clean tiles. I can't put the elbow grease anymore. My back hurts. My knees hurt. I can't do it anymore. And you're employing somebody. You're giving somebody a job. I look at it that way. This economy is tough, people. And there are folks who do a good job cleaning, and they're really good at it. And I'm like, you know what? Let them do it. So I think you should not feel guilty at all for hiring somebody. I think there's nothing wrong with that. You're up in the economy.
All right. Well, I'm gonna try that sometime. I was gonna say tomorrow. I was like, I don't know, tomorrow. I'm ready for tomorrow. I'm gonna call them. It's my birthday month. Come on over and organize and clean the house. So we talked about what people are looking for, what they expect. What does that look like with an ongoing relationship, right? Do you recommend someone getting it done once? Do you try to work out a recurring appearance of you to help organize as things go on? What's your approach when it comes to aftercare?
Well, everybody always usually needs maintenance. I've had very few people hire me, and that's it. Very few. They're like, okay, we're done. I'm cured. Bye. That rarely happens. I rarely. I think I've had only maybe 2 out of 13 years of my life where they hired me for a certain job, and then they were done. They paid me. They said, thank you very much. I know one of right now. There's one of them who did that gave me another client who I work with currently, actually. I asked him, I go, how's Pam doing? I won't say her last name. Like, how's Pam doing? Oh, she's great. She talked about the other day. I think it was nothing bad. She needed me for something very specific.
Yeah.
And she hired me, and I worked for like 3 weeks for her. We were done. Now it's so crazy, man. She's never asked me back for care, and the personality I learned about her, she probably doesn't need me for anything.
Yeah.
Like she got what she needed, but she gave me someone else as a client who I use to this day. So it kind of worked out in a weird way. She's reoccurring. I don't go to her all the time either. So usually once or twice a month I go to her. But a lot of times. A lot of my clients, it's multiple. They hire me for one job, but it's multiple jobs they need. So they're testing me out for those first couple of jobs. Then they find they like me, they like my work. They just have to keep coming back when they can afford it or how urgent something is. It can run it. I have some clients that were every week. I have some clients that were once every 2 or 3 weeks. I have clients who are once a month or every quarter. I have clients who are every quarter. I have certain clients that I used to work for UCLA. I used to organize their offices. They hired me every quarter. So 4 years, 4 times out of the year, for a week I worked for them. And it was a great paycheck. It was great. I just do every year. I have another client that hires me every 3 months. And it's literally like clockwork. Every 3 months hires me and come in and do stuff. And I love it. And that's guaranteed money every 3 months. I know I'm going to get, and it's a great relationship. And it's been going on for like 10 years. At this point, 11 years.
Yeah.
I think but there's others who they get and we get everything together, and a lot of times it's maintenance the rest of the year. So once every couple of months, they'll call me in, and I'm like, don't worry about it. It's just this is a lifelong process. Don't worry about it. So I have retention. So people always worry about that, especially by any kind of business. They worry about that. How do you get retention? I just give them. No one's ever fully cured, obviously. And like I said, and many of them, they have multiple jobs, or they have friends that need me. So then I'll go off to their friends. 80% of my business is word of mouth. I'll go to their friends, and then they'll be like, "Oh, I need you again," and I go back to them too. So it's very interesting.
Yeah. As we hear, celebrating 7 years of the Super Organizer Show. I got one more question for you. This one's from Match Litchfield. He says, how do you recommend for someone that is disorganized to get on the path of the enlightened organized? Don't hate him for his clutter.
Matt, I could never hate you, period. Never. But if we were together, you couldn't be cluttered. But here's the deal. You just start small. My motto is small steps to large rewards. So my thing is always don't try to climb the mountain. Don't even try to do that. Look at that. Okay, yeah, sure. Yeah. Just start small. Like literally start small. A corner of a room, your desk, a pile of magazines, whatever it is. Just take time, start small. And then literally, little by little, just kind of keep, and whether you do it every day or every 3 days or once a week, at some point you'll get there. I think that's what it is. It's like Dylan Matthews, how funny. It's just literally just start small at your own pacing. When you're not tired, never try to organize when you're tired. That does not work either. But chill. Like people say, I should organize. I don't overtalk it. Don't overthink it. If you don't feel like doing it today, don't do it today. But try to keep it in your mind you want to do it at some point. And because it's a learned trait. Everyone can learn to be organized, and it's a habit. Most habits take 3 months to 90 days to kick in. So you got to create a habit, but you can't be hard on yourself. You can't be doing it when you're tired. You can't just start small. If it's just like cleaning off the counter of your kitchen, that's the first thing you do. That's the first thing you do.
Wow, dropping science, free knowledge, and there's more to come. Books are on the subject. The show, 7 years in. JLJ, so glad to celebrate this here with you. But
we're not done yet.
We're not done. We're not done?
No, because there's one thing I really want to talk about that I've never talked about. Was that So I told Flobo earlier today, and that I watched all of my shows, my anniversary shows. I've done 6 of them. This is the 7th. Right. And the one thing I never talked about is I've talked about how I began, but I never talked about me being on the radio and doing the whole aspect of doing this show in a format that I had a dream realized the way that I know my dream was realized. So I kind of want to talk about that a little bit, just because I know people have dreams out there. That's also an organized thing. You have dreams of your house one day where you can walk through your rooms. Like, I just want to give people a little something about that a little bit. Because we talk about that. Oh yes. I guess you forgot about that part. That's okay. It's fine. No, it's fine. No, because we talked briefly about why I kept the show going. But I want to give a shout out. This is also a good time for me to give a shout out to the guys who literally led me on this path. Adrenaline Radio in Whittier, and Brian Leone, who was my first producer and first engineer.
I didn't forget. I had this lined up.
You said we were done. I
was going to give it the whole shout outs. Okay, gotcha. It was a weird. No, it's fine. Bye.
Yeah, bye. I'm sorry. I was determined. I just want to make sure I don't talk about it's been an hour, so I'm not going to be on here for 10 hours. But I just want to make sure I get that out a little bit, because I want to give a shout, because I would not be here if someone had not read my blog and said, James, can you make that into a show? And I was like, I couldn't believe it. It's a good questions for you, right?
Anyone else you want to thank? That's it?
That's just for those two. That's the start. To start out bad. I just want to thank those 2 people. So,
sure, absolutely. Because it's been a long term. I know they're just trying to do a victory lap. 7 years of content and shows. And
yeah, that's it for now. Let's do those 2 first.
Okay. Now I'm afraid to end the show. Do you want me to say anything else? Did I miss anything else?
No. I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. I thought it was.
No. I want to make sure. I want to make sure I got it right. I don't want you to fire me. I told you, there's not many people out here That can work on my budget. Okay. So there's 7 years of the SOS show, the super organizer, James Lott Jr., JLJ himself, and there's no sign of slowing down, but you can connect with him in person with these shows. And of course, the books. That's how you get even more information. JLJ, that's why I asked if everyone wanted to connect with any of that kind of media, how do they go about doing that?
So I'm a hope to get some more books out this year, or organizing books.
Better.
Ironically, today I released a book today, which is not organizing. Searching for Walter, you get anywhere, but it's not organizing book. But I seriously really want to get. I have 2 books in mind that I just need to sit down and really, as Flobo knows, because he's also an author. The idea is there. To sit down and write them it's another story. You have to sit down and write them. So I have all the information. I have all the stuff. I just haven't put it together. So I have two books I wanted to come out. But I have 1 book out now. It's been out for a couple of years, which is Small Steps Lead to Large Rewards. So, that's out. You can get that. It's like a couple bucks. You get that, whatever. But I think just people listen to the podcast. I have to go back in time. I mean, I literally have 400 episodes, almost 400 episodes. But each title of the podcast tells you kind of what we talk about. There's some really great advice from people of all walks of life. And Flobo's been on a couple of times. You did my one of my wheel shows, I think. I did one of my wheel things.
With your other friends.
Yes, the panel. And a couple other ones too. And so I try to be fun also and have regular folks on at the same time, not just these are regular folk, not just industry people. I got a lot of flack for that in the very beginning. But I didn't care about that. I didn't want to be a stuffy industry show. I wanted to be something where everyone can relate because, again, everyone is disorganized. And there are folks who are organized from different parts of their lives. So I want people to think, this is a show. If anything, take a perusal. You don't start from the beginning or anything. If you want to hear James at the very beginning, that show is way down at the bottom of the list. You can listen to that. But I'd say listen to the podcast, support it. I say start there. And I'm everywhere. They're everywhere. You're regular too? That's right, girl. They're everywhere. And then I have a couple organizing songs out. You'll hear them. They're out there on the chart out there in the Spotify land. One's called Running Smoothly. One's called I Want to Get Organized. That's out there too. You can check those out. I'm writing an organizing play. So we'll see if that comes out at some point. I would love to go back on stage, have that on stage, and do that. That's the thing I'm working on. Also, the TikTok, good old TikTok. I have a series called How You Get Organized Under a Minute. I think I've done over 100 episodes of that also. And that's on there too. And I just give little tips, really quick tips and even though you can do 3 minutes on TikTok, I do 1 minute. I'm staying to the title. It's the title.
Classically trained, I see.
Yes, exactly.
For only 1 minute.
Yes, I stay back to the 1 minute. I'm not doing 3 minute. That's cheating to me. But under a minute, you gotta talk fast, be succinct. I've been a fancy AfterBuzz days. Thank you. AfterBuzz is dead. That's sad. I just have to. That's good. You like my organizing songs? Thank you. Those out there too. And of course, I'm on all social media platforms. So there is the Super O and the SOS _ show on Twitter. The Super Organizer Show, Super Organizer on Facebook. Not anything on Instagram. I'm not starting a page on Instagram. So I got too many pages. I was like, but I do post things on my James Lott Jr. JLJ media stuff.
Super Organizer and the Super Friends, the ones that helped at the beginning, watching it grow. So many people love you, people adore you, and of course, they respect the hustle and the craft. Hopefully, they'll be here for the 14th year anniversary, and hopefully, you haven't. Oh yeah, we're celebrating with a cake. That
should I put my face in it, Jeremy?
You
thought I did it, didn't you?
I was like, yo, why not? Give myself a cake.
Give myself a cake. I was gonna put my face in it and just shock everybody. So I got full of face. Even though almost like did it.
I was like, premium content, man. That's what I'm talking about.
I'm gonna waste my cake on my face.
Don't waste my. If it's going to your face, it's not. Anyway, this is how's it for me. I'm Flobo Boyce. You can follow me anywhere. I'm like disorganized, man. That's not really important.
Promote yourself. Tell me where they can find you.
But you can read my book that has nothing to do with organizing, but it's called Graduation Day. Basically, the perfect time to get it for your grads who recently graduated. Yes. It's an advice for the younger version of myself. Available now on Amazon and the Patreon, patreon.com/Flobo Boyce. We're doing something very special. We're having unlocked editions of things that are usually behind the paywall. So if you want to read the Gig blog or see Flobo Tries, you can. Or we're at Patreon this month, the month of June, patreon.com/Flobo Boyce. We call it the Boyce's Crew because puns are weird. People always remember those things.
But we love him, so make sure you just follow him, follow his stuff, buyhim@coffee.com and Flobo Boyce, all that stuff, do it. We got support creators of color. We're out there. We're different. He and I are different colors. We're the same color inside. That's weird. I was going with something, but I don't know what happened with that. But support them. Support everybody. We all do this for fun, but we do need the money also. Everyone. So